Be honest, how many times have you said, "I'm just tired," when deep down you knew you weren't tired? You were just done pretending you cared about things that don't move your life forward. You scroll, you snack, you binge, watch something you don't even like, and then you call it rest. But what if I told you the truth isn't that you're lazy, it's that your focus has been hijacked? You're not burnt out from working too hard. You're burnt out from doing too many meaningless things that don't align with your purpose. You don't need more sleep, you need more clarity. You don't need another energy drink, you need direction. Because here's the deal, your brain isn't tired, it's overloaded. Overloaded with junk, noise, and cheap dopamine hits that kill your drive before you even start. Think about it. How often do you pick up your phone just to check something, and 30 minutes later, you're deep into some random video rabbit hole wondering where your motivation went? That's not laziness, that's distraction dressed like comfort. And every time you fall for it, your brain learns to choose easy over excellence. The truth is, laziness doesn't exist in people with a mission. You've never met a man or woman on fire for something who says, "I just can't get motivated today." No, they're fueled by clarity. They know exactly what they want, and that clarity burns through fatigue like rocket fuel. So let me ask you, what's killing your fire? Is it exhaustion, or is it the weight of unmade decisions? You say you're tired, but tired from what? Working or worrying? Because most people aren't tired from effort, they're tired from indecision, from living in that mental tug-of-war where your mind says go, and your habits say wait. You see, your mind is built to focus, but you've trained it to scatter. You've trained it to chase every notification, every impulse, every maybe later. That's not being tired, that's being unfocused. You're not out of energy, you're just spending it on the wrong things. Picture this, every time you open social media, every time you check that phone for a second, you're giving a little piece of your focus away. 10 seconds here, 5 minutes there, and by the time you try to work on your goals, your mind's running on fumes. You call it burnout, but it's just brain fragmentation, and I know what you're thinking. But Tony, I just don't have the energy to stay focused all day. Let me tell you something. Focus gives energy. Every time you lock in on one thing, your brain starts firing clean. You stop leaking energy into things that don't matter, and suddenly you feel powerful again. That's not motivation, that's mastery. Here's a question. When was the last time you did one thing fully without distraction? No phone, no background noise, just you versus your goal. You can't even remember, can you? Because distraction has become your comfort zone. And the scariest part, you've started to mistake being busy for being productive. Let's call it what it is. Modern laziness isn't about lying on the couch. It's about constant motion with zero direction. It's that mental treadmill where you're running all day but going nowhere. You scroll, you multitask, you say, "I'll start later," and then you wonder why nothing changes, but deep down, you know that focus is the missing piece. You felt it before. That moment when everything fades, when you're locked in, when you lose track of time because you're building something real. That's your true self. That's not tiredness. That's alignment. So why do you lose it? Because the modern world is designed to break your focus. Every app, every ad, every algorithm is fighting for one thing: your attention. You're not lazy, you're targeted. You're not weak, you're manipulated. They don't want your money first. They want your focus, because focus is currency. You ever wonder why it's so hard to start the things that matter, but so easy to scroll for hours? Because your brain's been rewired to crave instant hits. Real work feels heavy because it doesn't reward you instantly, and that's where the battle starts. The war between your higher self and your habits. But here's the good news: you can rewire it. You can retrain your brain to crave progress again. It starts small. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop saying 5 more minutes. You stop living like your time doesn't matter, because the second you take your focus back, your power returns. You ever notice how when you start cleaning your room or organizing your workspace, you suddenly feel lighter? That's not coincidence, that's clarity. Your brain thrives on order. Chaos drains you, and for most people, laziness is just the side effect of too much mental clutter. You say, "I'm unmotivated." No, You're overwhelmed, you've got too many tabs open in your mind, you've got dreams fighting with distractions, goals fighting with guilt, and your energy gets split so thin there's nothing left to execute with. Close those mental tabs. You don't need to do everything. You need to finish something. Ask yourself this: what if you treated your focus like it was your paycheck? What if every time you wasted it, you lost real money? Because that's exactly what's happening. You're losing your future. Every unfocused hour is a paycheck you'll never cash. You're not lazy. You're leaking your life force into things that don't pay you back. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. It's easier to say I'm tired than to admit I'm distracted. But the second you face that truth, you take your power back. The mind follows clarity. You don't need motivation when your vision's locked in. You just move. That's why high-performers don't wait for energy. They create it through focus. Because when your purpose is bigger than your comfort, your body stops complaining. Let me hit you with this. What if your fatigue isn't physical, it's spiritual? What if your soul's just bored of watching you live below your potential? That's not laziness. That's your inner voltage screaming for direction. You're not meant to drift. You're meant to dominate, but domination requires focus. And until you train your mind to serve your mission instead of your impulses, you'll keep calling your distractions rest. So stop saying you're tired. You're not tired. You're uncommitted. You're not lazy. You're unfocused. You don't need more time. You need less noise. Because once you silence the distractions, you'll realize your energy was never gone. It was just scattered, and that's where everything begins to shift. The shift starts the moment you realize your energy was never gone, it was just scattered. You've been leaking power into things that don't deserve it. Notifications, doubts, excuses, and the day you stop feeding those things is the day your life changes. You're not lazy, you've just been living without a target. And when there's no target, your mind starts shooting blanks. You wake up, drift, scroll, repeat, and you call that a day. But deep down, you know you were built for more than just getting through the day. You were built to command the day. Ask yourself, when did you stop chasing the things that set your soul on fire? When did you trade your purpose for comfort? Because here's the truth: comfort is the silent killer of greatness. It doesn't destroy you overnight. It just numbs you one easy choice at a time until you wake up one morning and realize your potential's been sleeping for years. You think you're tired, but what if you're just under-challenged? What if the reason you feel heavy is because you haven't done anything that excites you in months? Humans are not built to sit around waiting for motivation. We are built to move, to create, to hunt the next version of ourselves. And if you want to find your focus again, you've got to start hunting. Hunt for clarity, hunt for meaning, hunt for that thing that makes your blood rush and your hands shake, because that's the signal you're alive. Listen, laziness fades when your mission gets louder than your excuses. You don't need a better routine. You need a reason that rips you out of bed. You don't need perfect conditions. You need a vision so big that your fears start feeling small. So here's what you do. You get brutally honest with yourself. What's stealing your focus? Who's draining your energy? What habits are keeping you broke, tired, and average? Write them down. Look at them. Because once you see the enemy, you can kill it. And make no mistake, this is war. Every day, you're in a battle between your distractions and your destiny. Every time you choose comfort, you lose ground. Every time you delay, you give away your future. You think you're just taking a break, but your dreams are still out there grinding without you. So stop negotiating with weakness. Stop giving yourself outs. Stop saying, I'll start Monday. If it's not now, it's never. You've got to train your brain like an athlete trains their body with repetition, pressure, and purpose. You think discipline is hard. Try living with regret. You think focus is tough. Try explaining to your future self why you settled. That's the pain you should fear, not the grind, not the work, but the silence that comes when you realize you wasted your shot. You've got one life, one chance to lock in, to master yourself, to push through the fog and see what you're really made of. You can't do that scrolling. You can't do that half-focused. You've got to cut the noise, shut the door, and tell the world, I'm not available for average anymore. And when you do that, everything shifts, your energy sharpens, your focus deepens, you start attracting opportunities that match your new frequency. People feel it, they sense your control, your certainty. You become magnetic because the world respects people who move with intention. And here's the thing, focus isn't just about doing more, it's about becoming more. Every time you ignore distraction, you build muscle in your mind. Every time you finish something you started, you reinforce the identity of a finisher. That's how you reprogram your brain. You stop saying, "I'll try," and start saying, "I'm doing it." You see, the mind doesn't respond to hesitation, it responds to command. So command it. Tell it where to go, what to focus on, what to believe. You've been letting your thoughts boss you around for too long. It's time you took the wheel back. When your mind says, "I'm tired," answer back, "No, I'm just under-challenged." When it says, "I can't," respond, "Then watch me." Because that's how focus is forged, not through comfort, but through confrontation. You've got to confront your excuses until they surrender. Here's the truth, nobody tells you focus feels hard at first, because you're detoxing from distractions. You've been feeding your brain instant gratification for so long that delayed reward feels painful, but keep pushing through that discomfort and something incredible happens. Your brain recalibrates. Your mind starts craving progress again. You'll notice it one morning. You'll wake up and instead of reaching for your phone, you'll reach for your purpose. You'll stop counting hours and start counting wins. You'll stop saying, "I'm tired," and start saying, "Let's go." That's not magic, that's momentum, and once momentum hits, you become unstoppable because momentum doesn't need motivation. Momentum feeds itself. You start winning small, and those wins multiply. One focused day becomes one focused week. One week becomes one new identity. You stop being the kind of person who says, "I'll start soon," and you become the kind who says, "I'm already in motion." That's the real truth about laziness. It dies the moment you move. Motion kills doubt. Action kills fear. Focus kills fatigue. You don't need more inspiration, you need ignition. So light it right now. Stand up. Decide you're done being distracted. Decide that your mind is your weapon, not your weakness. Because once you decide, truly decide, the game changes. You're not here to be average. You're not here to coast. You're here to command yourself, to take that scattered energy and turn it into direction, to take that noise and turn it into power. And maybe nobody claps for you right now. Maybe nobody sees the grind. That's fine, because greatness doesn't need applause. It needs consistency, it needs clarity, it needs fire. So here's your reminder, you're not tired, you're not lazy, you're not broken, you're just unfocused, and that's fixable. All it takes is a decision to stop chasing distractions and start chasing destiny, a decision to stop saying someday and start saying now, a decision to stop letting the world program you and start programming your mind for greatness. Because once you focus, you'll see the truth. You never lacked energy, talent, or time. You just lacked direction, and now you have it. So go reclaim your focus. Go command your day. Go take back the life that distraction tried to steal from you. Because the world doesn't need another tired soul, it needs another focused one, and that is you.